into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Big show coming up today. We get a big night in the NBA, an absolute avalanche of games. And of course, in his traditional Wednesday spot, my man, the animal, Savage, Devin Walker. Let's bring him in. Devin's going to be breaking down his favorite college football plays here over the next couple days. And Devin, I'm having a rough week here, man. I am down big time, so I'm going to need help getting out of this hole. So I hope you brought your ladder.
I got my ladder. I got my, what else would help get you out of a hole? We'll just stick with ladder. Yeah, I got my ladder. I'm also wearing a bright pink hoodie, right? That matches the pastel painting behind me. So the mood is up. We're turning this thing around. We're righting our wrongs, and we're stacking paper and fattening our pockets. It starts right now, Joe. I'm happy to be here.
I like it indeed. Yeah, some tough losses, a couple close ones there last night. They all do count as the same, though, whether it's a blowout or a close one, or if you want to call it a bad beat, whatever. It counts as an L in the win-loss column. Okay, enough wasting time here, Devin. We're going to let you hit lead off here today. Your favorite looks for college football, then I'm going to hit NBA, then we're going to come back to you for a parlay that you like in the NFL this weekend. So we'll get us started up here. We got some Thursday night NCAA football action here. Virginia Tech versus NC State. What are you looking at here?
Virginia Tech stinks. Okay, let's talk about Thursday night football, because Lord knows I'm not going to be watching whatever product Amazon Prime is putting out. Bezos, it's garbage. Okay, I'm done with it. I won't watch all season. I got to have college football. I got to go Thursday, and I got to take North Carolina State laying 13.5. Well, why would you do such a crazy thing like that, Devin? Let me break it down for you, right? Hokies against the spread in 2022, 2-5. NC State, 12-5. Okay, let's talk about it. Last 17 home games, 12-5. That's ridiculous. The Hokies have one of the worst offenses in college football, 122nd in yards per play, and they're going up against the North Carolina State defense that's allowing 11 points per home game in 2022. That is ridiculous. In addition to this, okay, Virginia Tech is on a 4-game losing streak with losses of 23, 31, 16, and 6. 3 of the 4 of those cover this spread. The only one that doesn't is an absolutely abysmal Miami Hurricanes team, whom they still lost to at home. Virginia Tech stinks. I'll say it again. Give me North Carolina State laying 13.5 and take it to the bank, baby.
All right, you heard it here first from Devin. Boycott Amazon. I don't know if he quite said that, but he's not a fan of the Amazon football product. Anyhow, let's move on to some of the Saturday action in college football. We got the Baylor Bears and Texas Tech getting after it. What are you looking at in this one?
Yeah, this one, for me, it's all about the Bears. I mean, let's just talk about a Baylor's team that has been able to win close games on the road. That's their pedigree. That's their makeup. This Texas Tech team, electric offense, fine. But for me, this game comes down to third down efficiency. And there is one glaring difference between these two football teams here, okay? Let's talk about Baylor, 37th in third down conversion to Texas Tech, 92nd. That is a big gap. So for me, it's not even taking the points. I'm going Baylor money line, all right? The Baylor offense is better in yards per play. Okay, the Tech, a team that just doesn't seem like they can really get it done, allowing 3 sacks per game, ranks 122nd in tackles for loss allowed. This Baylor team can get after you and get after you quickly. And this game could get out of hand. It's a line that didn't make a ton of sense to me. I envision this game probably shifting as we get closer to kickoff. So now is the time to take this. Although it's on Saturday, I promise you it's not going any further in the plus money direction for Baylor. So if you like this money line, if you want to ride with your boy, and I think you should, hop on the Bears right now at a money line plus 115 or better, because it will be dropping before kickoff. You heard it here first. Give me the Baylor Bears money line, baby.
The Bears. That's a hot money line underdog bet across football. so far this week with the Chicago Bears, of course, in New England on Monday night, destroying the New England Patriots. Okay, bring it home. Bring it home for us here, Devin. We got Oklahoma State, Kansas State. What's your best bet for this game?
Let's talk about hairstyles for a second, right? Kansas State, 0 mullets. Okay? Oklahoma State, several mullets. You think I'm going to fade a mullet? Is that... You've known me now, Joe, for a while. I come on this show every Wednesday, right? Do I strike you as somebody who's going to fade a mullet? The answer is no. Give me Oklahoma State. The points are laid here, right? We're gonna take, a 1.5 because it's only -110. If you're watching this, take them on the money line. I just changed my own bet, and I'm gonna tell you why. Oklahoma State passing offense will attack a poor K-State defense. Think about this. K-State's 114th in third down conversion percentage. OK State, 5th in OPP third down conversion percentage. That is a glaring difference, right? K-State quarterback Adrian Martinez might not even be in the game. If that is the case, you're going to watch this line shift dramatically. This is another opportunity to get in on the action early, because if Martinez does play, he will not be 100%. And if he doesn't play, that Kansas State offense is going to look a lot different. So for me, I got a yes, back the mullets because they're a great hairstyle, business up front, party in the back, right? Or as I like to say, business up front, cash counter in the back. But also with a questionable quarterback situation in Kansas State, it just makes sense for me to back Oklahoma State. This seems like a football team that is in every game, a big comeback against Texas. They're battle tested. I like them in this position. I've changed my bet. I'm taking them on the money line, and that is that.
Yes, sir. Okay, so there you have it. 3 bets for college football from Devin, from the football field of college football to the hardwood of the NBA. I got my 3 best bets all lined up. This first one is going to be quick and dirty. Indeed, we're going to take the Milwaukee Bucks on the first quarter spread, coming in at -1 point with the Nets in town. So the Bucks are coming out absolutely flying this season. They beat the Sixers by 6 in the first quarter, and they beat the Rockets by 18 in the first quarter just a couple of days ago. First in first Q EFG percentage, second in opponent EFG percentage. The Nets, meanwhile, coming out absolutely sleeping, a -6.3 point margin in the first quarter, bottom 5 in both EFG percentage and opponent EFG percentage in the opening frame. And I get that we're working off of small sample sizes here, but this was a hot spot last season for the Bucks, one of the best first quarter ATS teams, both overall and at home last season. Give me the Bucks in the first quarter with the Nets in town. Next up.
Ooh. What's going on here?
Indeed, we got a big underdog here, the Charlotte Hornets. I'm taking them at +8 in New York, taking on the Knicks. So you usually don't associate great defense with the Charlotte Hornets, but they've been great on the defensive end open this season. Number 1 overall in opponent EFG percentage, allowing a league low 7.73 per game open the season. So great perimeter defense, and they've been great from the land beyond the arc offensively too. Big edge from three-point land in this one, 3rd overall in three-point shooting percentage compared to the Knicks, who are way down there at 25th in the NBA. And the Hornets, they are in full effort mode under new head coach Steve Clifford. So you might scoff at some of these numbers early on. We're only a couple games in, but I don't think it's surprising at all that they're putting up these numbers under a new head coach. You know, these guys are buying in on the defensive end early on, and I think at least they can keep this thing close versus an average at best Knicks offense. Moving on. We're going to wrap things up with my favorite prop bet of the night. Damian Lillard on fire to start the season. I'm going to bet on that pattern continuing tonight versus the Miami Heat. I'm going to take him to go over 3.5 3-pointers, coming in at plus money, +112. So check this guy out. He's averaging 10 3-point attempts per game. It's all about volume 3-point props, and Dame should be expected to fire away in this one. Per usual, he's third in 3-point attempts so far in the season and second in makes per game. He's made at least 4 in 3 straight games of 4, 6, and 5 threes over his last 3. And to bring it all together, pretty bad perimeter defense from the Miami Heat here. Bottom third in the league in opponent 3-point percentage and 3-pointers allowed per game. Give me Dame to go over 3.5 threes at plus money. So Devin, let's wrap it all up here. You're looking ahead to the NFL this weekend. You have a 3-team parlay. So who you throwing together on this one?
First thing, I got to just give you credit here. That Damian Lillard threes prop, cash the ticket right now. Plus money for him to get 4. I love the Blazers this season, so I'm all over that. The threes prop may be the new walk prop. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that it is, because we need something electric on our Wednesday mornings.
You got Tyler Hero out there trying to play 3-point defense for the Miami Heat. What do you think is going to happen here tonight?
Yeah, it's a good point. Anyways, I loved Lillard, but back to the green grass or turf, I guess, depending on where you're at, of the NFL, right? I'm going to be taking a 3-team money line parlay, right? And in this one, the trend is your friend. All 3 of these teams had a great week last week. We saw the Raiders look like the Raiders that we thought that they might be. We saw the Titans look like the Titans of last season. And the Bengals are finally starting to string it together with an absolutely electric performance from one Joe Burrow. I'm expecting all of these teams to ride that momentum into this week. Give me the Raiders money line. Give me the Titans money line. Give me the Bengals Monday night money line. That's going to come in at plus 372. And I'm telling you right now, I've got a feeling this one's going to hit. So if you're looking for some plus money, if you want a little multi-day sweat, 3-team heater, money line parlay, Raiders, Titans, Bengals. You heard it here first. Cash the ticket.
There you have it. Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals may be finally getting their shit together. Their offensive line getting its act together after a slow start. They've actually covered the spread in, I think, 5 straight games now. So the Bengals starting to heat up. They were my pick to win the Super Bowl, as you might recall. So I'm happy to see that they're kind of putting it together in a division that doesn't look so good all of a sudden there, the AFC North. Okay, so there you have it. 7 total picks from Devin and I. Hopefully 7 total winners as well. If you're looking to tail any of those bets or fade them if you want to, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Kick off your day of sports betting with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's a VI bonus, all one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
All right, Devin.
That was an electric read.
Thank you.
It's getting better and better. That read's getting better and better.
At first, I was I wouldn't say I was monotone about it, but I was like, well, these guys are paying us some money. Let's put a little bit of fucking energy into this here for our friends over at BetMGM. By the way, no Jamie Foxx. He hasn't returned my messages yet. So we're hoping to get him on. We're hoping to get him on a show here soon. Who knows? Maybe a Super Bowl special or something.
Yes, I think
Fox, so. I and Devin would make quite a trio. I like to think. So let's play a little game of sports true or false here. Devin,
Okay.
A lot of hot topics this week in the sports world. Let's start with Major League Baseball. Of course, the World Series gets going here on Friday. Pretty sexy matchup. You know, a fun underdog versus a juggernaut in the Houston Astros, who still haven't lost. But let's focus on probably the most popular player in baseball right now, Bryce Harper. You know, he's been linked to Mike Trout for his entire career. You know, the guys both entered the league at the same time. They both reached superstardom at the same time, a handful of MVPs for each of them. But here's my question for you. True or false? Bryce Harper should be considered a bigger success than Mike Trout if the Phillies win the World Series.
First of all, I just want to say I hate the Astros. Go Phillies. Okay. For anybody that's watching this, I was down in Philly for games 4 and 5. What an atmosphere. They got the song going, they got the fans excited. I was at Chicky and Pete's. I don't know if anyone's ever been there. Ridiculous sports bar. Go Phillies. With that being said, it's false. Mike Trout's Mike Trout. I'm not a huge baseball guy, so that's how I'm very confident in this answer. Mike Trout, I understand Bryce Harper's a household name, but Mike Trout, that name rings bells for people that are even a casual sports fan. So for me, if they win the World Series, he will obviously give a very deserving city something that they'll never forget. He'll be, a true legend. He'll never buy another meal in Philadelphia. But I think he's got a little bit more work to do to catch kind of the myth of Mike Trout. He has really kind of transcended the game since he's come in. With the addition of Bryce Harper as well, as they've obviously both been neck and neck there. But for me, it's Mike Trout right now. I think that over the next 5 years, it's obtainable though. So we'll see what Bryce can do this World Series, and if he can get this one, maybe one more, I would say put him in the conversation. But right now, it's Trout all day. But go Phillies.
Yeah, you can't debate that Trout is the better baseball player, right? He has the much better numbers. He gets injured a lot less. But I would argue that Bryce Harper is a bigger star. Now, unfortunately, Major League Baseball isn't able to capture that impact because they do an awful job of marketing its players. But yeah, it's a fun debate, but I think Devin's probably right. Harper still has some work to do. Still pretty young in his career, both of them, to be fair here. So, Devin, you're a big New England Patriots guy.
Yep.
Quite a bit of buzz around this team here this week, coming off that awful loss to the Bears on Monday Night Football. So this is, the definition of a quarterback controversy. So my question to you, true or false, Mac Jones starts more games than Bailey Zappi for the rest of the season?
Okay, I'll start here. Unfortunately, the answer is true. But I'd also just like to go on a little tangent here. Bill Belichick put an absolute masterclass on how not to handle a quarterback controversy in that game against the Bears. You're going to start Mac Jones, not 100%, clearly not 100%, pull him after a quarter and a half, and put a rookie quarterback in Bailey Zappi, whose confidence was through the roof, in a double-digit deficit after you pretty much told him, well, we don't have a ton of confidence in you. It was the absolute worst case scenario for both of these quarterbacks. How's Mac Jones supposed to play? How's he supposed to play when the crowd is chanting Zappi? That was an absolute dumb move from Bill Belichick. It's one of the worst I've seen in a long time. I think that's due in large part because he does not have a full-blown offensive mind on his staff. He's not getting that in his ear that, hey, listen, we should probably go this route or that route, or we got to stick with our guy. So I do blame the coaching staff as a whole, but mainly Bill Belichick. Unfortunately, the answer here is true. They're going to go back to Mac Jones, and I don't see the Patriots capitalizing on what was some real legitimate momentum.
Yeah, us Dolphins fans are absolutely happy to see what is happening with this quarterback situation in New England. I thought that Mac Jones, I thought this guy was completely overhyped last season. I thought it was ridiculous that Mac Jones was playing in the Pro Bowl and people just want to anoint this guy all of a sudden. And then we saw him later on in the season, he hit a rookie wall and hasn't been able to recapture the magic, if you want to call it that he once had. Okay, sticking with the NFL here, this has been a hot story all season long. The Green Bay Packers completely falling off of a cliff here, 3-4 on the season. Now out of the top 10 on the Super Bowl futures odds board, because if the season ended today, Devin, the Green Bay Packers would not be in the playoffs. Not a whole lot of people would have predicted that. So my question is, true or false, the Green Bay Packers will miss the playoffs?
The Green Bay Packers will not miss the playoffs. So that is false. As we've discussed, Joe, there's going to be a big buy low situation about to occur because they will very likely get their ass beat by the Bills this week. and they'll be under 500, and Aaron Rodgers does it every single year. Everyone starts questioning him. He gets the offense together. It's impossible to play at Lambeau in the late part of the season. The frozen tundra is a real thing. They always come on strong in late November, in all of December. They are not a team that you want to see. They will get into that wild card spot. They will be a problem for somebody. And I'll take it one step further. I don't think the Packers will only make the playoffs. I think they'll get a playoff win.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're kind of in disagreement there. I don't doubt that the Packers will have some sort of rebound. Their division is not strong. As you guys know, I pointed out a couple times already this season, I think that the Minnesota Vikings are frauds. If you dig into their stats, they're not indicative of a team that's 5-1. You know, they got outgained by over 200 yards in that game versus the Miami Dolphins and still won that game somehow. But yeah, I think we're going to get to, I keep saying it every week with the Packers, hey, we're at the buy low point with this team. We're at the buy low point with this team. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I think that they can be a little competitive in this game against the Bills. You know, this is what you need. This is a team you get up for. Let's see if they can play up to the competition a little bit. I don't think that they're going to win that game. I wouldn't be surprised if they covered the spread, though. First time in Aaron Rodgers' career that he's a double-digit underdog. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, we'll see if they can turn it around a little bit. It would make for a fun storyline, I guess, in the second half of the season. So let's wrap it up here with this one, Devin. I think I know what your answer is going to be on this one. So, rumors, there's smoke. There's some smoke this morning that Nathaniel Hackett will be relieved of his duties if the Broncos lose to the Jaguars in London on Sunday. You know, kind of following in the footsteps of Urban Meyer from last season, being a head coach to be fired before the season even ends in his first season as a head coach. Kind of interesting, though. He was given a 4-year deal this season. I don't know for sure if it was guaranteed. I kind of assume it is. A lot of these head coach deals are. You know, we saw Matt Rule get canned. He was hit at, what, $35 million on his way at the door. So, true or false? Nathaniel Hackett will be fired if the Broncos lose to the Jaguars on Sunday.
It's absolutely true, and it's true, and it's too late. I mean, we're talking 2-3 games too late. It is clear that the mismanagement of this football team, both on and off the field, is completely on one person and one person standing alone, and that is Hackett. He could be the worst NFL football coach of all time. I've never seen somebody do less with more. How does this man just grab defeat out of the clutches of victory? I don't understand. I'm not sure if I did that right, but you hear what I'm saying. Games they should win, they're losing, right? I mean, I understand Russell Wilson is not the Russell Wilson of old, but Hackett, you got to do something with all this talent, and he just is not. So on a neutral field, if you go into a whole nother continent and lose to the Jags, and you're staring down the barrel of a very disappointing first half of the season, you should absolutely be fired. This is his time to turn it around. It's what we call a must win in the business. I don't think that they'll win. I like the Jags in this situation. And Hackett should be canned. Potentially worst coach forever. Never seen anything like it.
You know, Devin, I've been known for my hot takes every now and then. I've been known to get burned on a lot of them, but I was on this one from the start, so I will give myself a big pat on the back. I did a season betting preview for the Broncos, and my best bet for them was that they would not make the playoffs. And a big reason why is I did not understand the Nathaniel Hackett hire. What is the big deal with Nathaniel Hackett? He built his resume off the back of Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He wasn't even calling plays for the Green Bay Packers last season. Now they're a complete and total disaster. You know, I think that a lot of teams, we've seen it. How long have the Dallas Cowboys been doing it? Hanging on to a coach for way too long. So you might have to eat some of that money. I know the Broncos have a new owner, but yeah, you got to get rid of this guy. You know, This guy's not leading your team to the Super Bowl at any point. And that is the end goal when you're spending all that money on the quarterback. And Russell, well, he said that's a completely other problem. This team is probably the biggest mess in the NFL right now. Never mind a team like the Houston Texans. This is a complete and total disaster based on what their expectations were. But hey, Broncos, you can't take a shortcut to get a quarterback like you did with Peyton Manning. Hey, that worked out pretty good for you. You won a Super Bowl. You made it to another. Some teams have to draft a quarterback if you want to get a good one. Try developing one, maybe, you know. So, yeah, not really working out for I got nothing against Broncos fans by any means. Just that situation.
I don't love them.
Okay.
I mean, the fan base, even the fan base, they start booing their own team after the first quarter. It's like, I get it, you're unhappy, but show some loyalty. I can talk all the shit I want about Hackett. If you're in the stands, you got to give the guy a shot. Bad fan base, bad team, bad coach, bad.
You know what I realized about myself? It was, I don't know, a couple days ago, because we've seen this a few times where the home fans have booed their own player, their own team. We saw the Yankees fans do that to Aaron Judge. What a fucking disgrace that was. Maybe he's got a little bit of resentment, by the way. He's a free agent. We discussed that yesterday. But I love it when the home crowd boos their own team, regardless of the sport, regardless of the team. I absolutely love it. It's one of the things in sports that I enjoy most. I do not know why, but I do get an absolute kick out of it. Okay.
Well, you love hanging out in Philly because they boo everybody.
Oh, yeah.
They booed Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. That's famously booed Santa Claus. I join in on that, too. Screw him. Can't go that far. I got 2 little kids. Sorry, Santa, if you're watching. I got 2 little kids. Don't punish them because of their father. I'm just trying to get a laugh. I deserve to be booed for saying that. That's fair. That's anything can happen live on YouTube, right? Guys, if you love what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts. Props, trends, futures, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Okay, we move on. We're winding right down here, but not before we look into some picks from the CTP crew. Winners every day. I put out that message on Twitter and we get a lot of responses. Guys, we can't get them all in, but there's always a lot of winners in there. So we picked a few today. Thank you everyone for submitting. Tito, if you want to bring up the first one there. Yeah, this is one that was on my radar from JP Maddox. Pascal Siakam over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He says hit this in 2 of 4 this season. Without or even a limited Barnes, more time on the floor. Also plays up against Philly. He's hit this 5 out of the last 6 against Philly. The one time he missed, he had 35. Yeah, I like that. Philly hasn't been good defensively to start the season. What do we have next, Tito? Okay, Devin, we'll get you to weigh in on this one. You guys know how I feel about this. Andrew here, he's on board with me as a Vikings fan. He says they're frauds. Cardinals on the road are crazy good. I'll take the 3.5 points. Devin, what are your thoughts on this Arizona-Minnesota game on Sunday?
Yeah, this is a game that I actually had circled. I'm going to do a little bit more research on it. I just want to make sure I know, the injury reports and who's going to be where. But it is a game that I like. I would go even further and say that I think the Cardinals have a good chance at the money line here. You're probably getting that at BetMGM anywhere around plus 140 up all the way up to plus 165 at kickoff. I don't know where the public money's going to go. So I like the bet here. If you want to take it with the points, that's fine. I think I'm going to go Cardinals money line for the exact reason that this Vikings fan just mentioned, which is the Vikings are fraudulent. And with Hopkins back, I think that the Cardinals offense is going to look a lot better. I think that Murray's going to do that Murray thing that he does and run for 100 and throw for 3 tutties, and this could be a Cardinals money line victory.
Cardinals #1 teaser play of the week, in my opinion.
Ooh, good point.
9.5, and Tito weighing in. Vikings 2-10 ATS after a bye per the Action Network. So that's a good stat. And the Cardinals are great against the spread on the road under Kingsbury. Oddly enough, I think it's something like 15-3-2 against the spread, something ridiculous. Okay, let's move on here, Tito. What do we have next? Okay, this is also one I was looking at. Brook Lopez over 1.5 threes. Nets defense is horrible, especially versus centers and power forwards. Brook always plays well against his former team. Lopez has 3 and 4 threes in 2 games. The game should be high scoring. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Yes, back into the action. Hashtag chasing that paper from our guy, Matty Puppy Sports. He's hit a couple of winners for us, and I'm pretty sure that the Nets are dead last in opponent 3-point percentage. So we'll hope that Brook gets a few up here tonight. And we have one more. And this is one I caught late, a bonus one, and I read it and I absolutely loved it. Because we're always betting the over on these player props. How often in the NBA do you bet an over on a player prop? The game gets out of hand, they take the starters off the floor, or the guy gets fouled out, or the guy gets fucking kicked out of the game, ejected, or injured. We see it all the time. So you can get a little bit of value with these under ones, and I think this is a great look from our guy, Jason Jantz. He likes Jokic under 26.5 points. Taking on the Lakers, he's only averaging 20.2 this year, average of 22 points per game in his last 7 versus the Lakers, and 19.5 since LeBron joined the team. LA is due for a win, and the formula to limit Jokic. Hashtag CTP crew. Jason, thank you. So I dug into that a little bit more. I will 100% be tailing this one. Surprisingly, the Lakers are allowing the fewest amount of points per game in the paint so far this season. And Jokic's, his shot attempts are down. He's averaging like 6 fewer shots per game. It's because he's got a couple more of the big dogs back in the lineup, right? So he's not being dependent on to get up all those shots. So I like that look quite a bit from Jason, meaning that Jokic will be dropping 50 points tonight. Because that's how these things work, right? Everything lines up perfectly. No, he sets a record for most points scored. He pulls off a Will Chamberlain here. So that about does it, Devin. Half hour in and out. Back to your life. But what do you have going on here at Vegas Insider and elsewhere?
Well, we've got a brand new episode of It's not Spies, Lies, and Allies. It is Ride or Dies tonight on MTV, the new season of the challenge, episode 3. And I will be joined by the one and only Michelle Fitzgerald, a Survivor champion on the Bet on Devin podcast. We'll be recapping the episode. We'll be getting her to dive into the betting world. If you are not familiar, my guests are 3-0. So there's something happening here. Tori hit a 3-team parlay, her first bet of all time. So the Michelle Fitzgerald parlay will be published. As I've mentioned several times, the person you want to tail is the one that's making their first bet ever, because I'm going to say it right now, it's about a 90% success rate. I don't know how it happens, but the universe is in favor of that first bet. So we're going to string together a big parlay with Michelle. Make sure you check out Bet on Devin this week. And also, of course, episode 3 of the challenge, Ride or Dies, tonight. I appreciate you, Joe.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you too. And I appreciate all the viewers watching. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube right now, do me a favor, hit that like button and the sub button right below that. Give that a click. For us, it helps us out quite a bit around here. Before we let you go, it is time for the Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today, we recognize Alex Smart, who can be found on Twitter at AlexSmartSport1. Alex is on fire to start the NBA season with an 8-2 record. Doing much better than me. He is also on a 17-6 college football win streak. Tearing it up. So save 33% on Alex's Saturday college football picks or today's NBA action by clicking on the link in the description below. The discount will be applied during checkout. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, betters. All right, Devin, we're going to send you on your way. I'm sure you got a busy afternoon here. I'm sure the viewers have a busy afternoon. You got to get a lot of bets in. There's like 100 games in the NBA, some NHL, college football, NFL to look forward to, and an episode of Chasing That Paper to look forward to, of course, tomorrow, the Thursday Night Football edition. Ian McMillan will be back with me. We will see you then. Good luck with your bets tonight, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper.